7 lessons from failure that will change your life forever. Have you ever felt crushed by failure? Wondering if you'll ever achieve your dreams? Let me tell you a secret. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning. Every self-made millionaire and billionaire you admire today has a story of failure. Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos. Each of them has faced setbacks that would make most people give up. But instead of quitting, they used failure as fuel to build extraordinary success. In this post, I'm going to share with you 7 life-changing lessons from failure. Lessons that transform their lives and can transform yours. 2. These aren't abstract ideas. They're real strategies backed by the experiences of those who have turned failure into triumph. By the end of this, you'll see failure not as something to fear, but as a stepping stone to greatness. You'll learn how to turn your setbacks into breakthroughs, how to embrace the lessons failure teaches, and how to use it as a tool to create a future beyond anything you've imagined. Stay with me, because this could be the moment that changes everything for you. Let's dive in. 1. Failure is the first step to success. Millionaire mindset. Failure, a word that many fear and shy away from. But did you know that for great minds, failure is not just a natural part of life, but also a stepping stone to success? The phrase, failure is the first step to success, is not just a philosophy but a guiding principle that helps us overcome adversity and achieve greatness. Let's delve deeper to understand why failure is considered the foundation of success and how we can learn from it. Failure opens the door to learning. There is a famous quote by Winston Churchill: "Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." Failure is not an endpoint, but an opportunity to learn lessons that success can never teach. For instance, Thomas Edison tried over 10,000 times to invent the light bulb. He never saw it as failure. Instead, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure was a chance for him to understand materials, structures, and technology better. Failure teaches you what doesn't work, allowing you to refine and improve. It is a way to accumulate knowledge and move forward. Failure builds perseverance. Western culture highly values perseverance and resilience, viewing them as core qualities needed to achieve success. In this culture, failure is not a disgrace, but a natural part of the journey. A vivid example is the story of Michael Jordan, the basketball legend. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of giving up, he used that failure to fuel his determination, practicing relentlessly until he became one of the greatest athletes in history. Failure teaches you perseverance, an essential trait to overcome greater challenges in life. Failure shapes character and humility. Failure is the true test of courage and humility. When you fail, you are forced to confront the reality of your limitations. This doesn't make you weaker. Instead, it helps build a stronger character. Take the life of Oprah Winfrey. For example, she was fired from her first television job because she was deemed unfit for TV. Instead of giving up, she learned to accept and improve herself. Those early failures helped Oprah become a symbol of empathy and inner strength. Failure fosters humility and empathy while building a solid foundation for a resilient character. Failure sparks innovation and creativity. Success often stems from bold ideas, but those ideas don't always succeed immediately. Failure serves as the catalyst to think differently and seek out innovative solutions. A prime example is Steve Jobs. After being fired from Apple, Jobs didn't stop creating. He founded Next and played a key role in Pixar's success. Eventually, he returned to Apple, transforming it into a global leader in technology with groundbreaking products like the iPhone and MacBook. Failure doesn't hinder innovation. It pushes you to find more creative and effective ways to succeed. Failure helps you appreciate success. Success achieved after failures always carries more value and significance. It is not just the result of effort, but also proof of your strength and ability to overcome adversity. Another inspiring story is that of J.K. Rowling. Before becoming the globally celebrated author of the Harry Potter series, she faced immense failures, unemployment, divorce, and rejection from numerous publishers. However, these experiences made her ultimate success all the more remarkable. Failure teaches you to value your achievements and never take success for granted. Turn failure into motivation. Dear friends, failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey. If you can change how you perceive failure, you'll realize it is your greatest teacher and a priceless lesson that helps you grow stronger and more resilient. As Nelson Mandela wisely said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." 2. Failure helps you define the right goals. Have you ever wondered why we fail? Why, after all our efforts, the results fall short of expectations? Let me tell you a truth. Sometimes, failure doesn't come to hurt you. It comes to show you that you're heading in the wrong direction. Failure is like a brilliant lighthouse, illuminating the path you should truly take. Failure is an opportunity for self-reflection. Failure forces you to pause, reflect, and look deep within yourself. In the rush of life, we often chase goals without asking the most important question: what do I truly want? Some people spend their youth striving for career success, only to realize later that what they truly long for is a simple, happy life with their family. Take Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. For example, before building his global coffee empire, he failed to convince investors of his vision for ready-made coffee. He faced rejection after rejection, but instead of giving up, he paused and asked himself, "Where am I going wrong?" Failure pushed him to refine his idea, shifting focus toward creating a coffee experience rather than just selling a product. The result? Starbucks became a global icon. Failure clarifies the value of your goals. Failure doesn't just help you see where you went wrong. It helps you understand the true value of your goals. Imagine a mountain climber. When he slips and falls, it's not a signal to quit. Instead, the fall reminds him that the summit above isn't just a destination. It's his life's ideal. If the goal isn't significant enough, the climber will give up. But if it's something he truly desires, he will get up, fix his ropes, and continue climbing. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, once said that her bitter failures helped her strip away everything non-essential. After facing rejection dozens of times, she had no choice but to confront the truth. Writing was the only path she truly wanted to pursue. Failure tests the validity of your goals. When you fail, ask yourself, am I willing to try again? If the answer is yes, then the failure is not meaningless. It's simply testing your determination. If you feel discouraged and don't want to continue, perhaps the goal was never something you truly wanted. Consider the story of Elon Musk. He failed numerous times with SpaceX. Rocket launches went awry, and millions of dollars were lost. But why didn't he give up? Because his goal wasn't merely to launch a rocket. It was the dream of taking humanity to Mars, a vision grand enough to inspire him to rise after every failure. Failure is a teacher that guides you. Imagine failure as a strict teacher. It doesn't hesitate to make you uncomfortable, but its ultimate goal is to help you grow. Through failure, you learn to ask yourself, is this goal truly mine? Or am I chasing someone else's dream? Is the path I'm on the best way to achieve what I want? The answers to these questions will help you redefine your goals and focus on what truly matters. Let failure lead you to success. Remember, failure isn't the end. It's an opportunity to redefine your goals, recalibrate your direction, and move forward with renewed confidence. Life isn't a straight line to success. It's a journey filled with twists and turns, where failure acts as a compass to help you navigate. 3. Failure teaches you perseverance. Hello, my friend. Today, I want to share a seemingly simple yet profoundly transformative concept: perseverance. Have you ever wondered why some people can overcome every failure, every challenge, and eventually achieve extraordinary things? Their secret isn't innate talent or luck. It's perseverance, a quality forged through every setback. Failure, the greatest teacher of perseverance. Imagine a sailor navigating a stormy sea. The powerful waves might knock him down, but those same waves also shape him into a resilient navigator. Failure is like those waves. It doesn't destroy you but refines you. Take Michael Jordan, the basketball legend, who once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I was entrusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Jordan didn't become a legend by chance. He practiced relentlessly, rose after every failure, and never let obstacles define his journey. Failure tests your willpower. Here's an undeniable truth. When you fail, you have two choices: give up or keep going. Failure is a test of your willpower. The weak-hearted may surrender, but those who persevere find ways to push through. Step by step, consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She was rejected by 12 publishers before her first book was finally accepted. Faced with repeated rejection, she didn't quit. Her perseverance transformed her from a struggling single mother into one of the wealthiest and most successful authors in the world. Lesson from Rowling: when you encounter failure, remember it's not the end, but an opportunity to prove you can overcome. Perseverance turns failure into motivation. Perseverance not only helps you overcome failure, but also turns failure into the energy you need to move forward. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, conducted over 10,000 failed experiments. When asked why he didn't give up, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison didn't see failure as a roadblock, but as valuable data that helped him refine his ideas. How to cultivate perseverance. Set clear goals. When you know what you're working toward, failure becomes just a stop on the journey, not the end point. Remember that great success takes time. Nobody achieves greatness overnight. Every grand journey begins with small steps, and every failure is simply a challenge along the way. Learn from failure. Every setback carries a lesson. Instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Remind yourself why you started. Whenever you feel like giving up, think back to the reason you began this journey. That will reignite your determination. Failure is your companion on the path to success. Treat failure as a companion, a mentor. It teaches you patience, resilience, and how to rise after every fall. If you learn to embrace failure, you'll discover that you're far stronger than you ever imagined. The final lesson: perseverance is not just about enduring failure, but believing that every small step, no matter how challenging, is bringing you closer to your dreams. 4. Failure is an opportunity to learn. Have you ever faced a failure so overwhelming that it made you want to give up? A moment when all your efforts seemed meaningless, and your aspirations felt shattered? But did you know that failure is not the end? It is a hidden gift filled with valuable lessons, a beacon guiding us toward growth and true success. Let us delve deep into the essence of failure and why we should view it as an opportunity to learn rather than as a dead end. Failure is the greatest teacher. There's a famous quote by the legendary inventor Thomas Edison: "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison, the man who brought light to the world with the invention of the light bulb, never saw his thousands of failed experiments as true failures. Instead, he viewed each one as a step closer to perfection. Imagine if Edison had given up after 100 unsuccessful attempts. What would the world look like today? His failures taught him more about materials, electrical principles, and persistence, which ultimately led to a timeless invention. Failure is not the end of an effort, but a source of invaluable knowledge. It reveals what doesn't work, allowing us to focus on what does. Failure awakens creativity and innovation. Failure often forces us to think differently. When you fail, you are compelled to reassess everything, from your initial plans to your approach to the problem. This is the moment when creativity emerges. Take J.K. Rowling's story. For example, as a struggling single mother, she faced rejection from numerous publishers when trying to release her first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Instead of giving up, she used those failures as an opportunity to refine her manuscript. The result? Her story not only became a global phenomenon, but also inspired millions worldwide. Failure is not a dead end, but a fresh beginning. It helps us tap into hidden creativity and encourages us to find breakthrough approaches. Failure teaches humility and growth. One of the most profound lessons failure imparts is humility. It reminds us that no matter how skilled we are still human with limitations. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I was entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Jordan didn't view failure as a disgrace, but as a reminder to keep practicing and striving. His failures were the stepping stones to becoming a legend, not just on the court, but in the hearts of millions. Failure teaches us that no one is perfect. It helps us accept our imperfections and grow from them. Failure is an opportunity for self-reflection. When you fail, it's an opportunity to pause and ask yourself, why did I fail? What could I have done better? This is the first step to understanding yourself and your journey more deeply. Consider Oprah Winfrey's example. Before becoming one of the most influential women in the world, Oprah was fired from her job as a TV host for being unfit for television. But instead of quitting, she used that time to reassess her goals and strengths. Eventually, she found her true path, building a talk show that resonated with authenticity and emotional connection, which became the hallmark of her success. Failure isn't a real failure if you use it to understand yourself better. It's a chance to reassess your abilities, passions, and direction. Failure builds resilience. Failure can knock you down, but how you rise defines who you are. The most resilient people in the world have endured the most painful failures. Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, never let failure or injustice extinguish his fight for freedom and equality. He once said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Mandela turned his years of imprisonment into a time for learning, refining his mindset, and strategizing. Upon his release, he became a global symbol of peace and human rights. Failure builds inner strength. It is a challenge that makes you more resilient, not just to face difficulties, but to overcome them. How to learn from failure. Accept failure. Don't deny it or blame circumstances. Take responsibility and view it as the first step to improvement. Analyze the causes. Take time to understand why you failed. What was within your control? And what was beyond it? Learn from others. Look at stories of success born from failure. What did they do to overcome challenges? Apply the lessons. Make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes. Use what you've learned to do better the next time. Conclusion: failure is a privilege. Failure is not a full stop. It's a semicolon, a moment to pause, reflect, and advance further. How you respond to failure determines whether you'll stay down or rise stronger. Always remember, no one succeeds without first failing. The scars of failure are proof of your efforts and perseverance. 5. Failure is the true test of passion, the secret of extraordinary success. Do you know what truly sets apart those who achieve extraordinary success from those who stop halfway? It's not just talent, nor opportunities, it's passion. And failure is the ultimate test to measure how strong your passion really is. Let's revisit the lives of people who have overcome failures to become global icons. These stories aren't just inspiring. They are reminders that if you are genuinely passionate, you won't give up no matter how painful failure feels. Failure exposes your true willpower. When you face failure, it forces you to confront the hardest questions. Do you really want to keep going? Are you willing to endure even more to achieve what you desire? Think of Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. In SpaceX's early years, the first 3 rocket launches failed catastrophically, burning through hundreds of millions of dollars. Everyone thought Musk would give up, but he didn't. His passion for space exploration outweighed his fear of failure. The 4th launch succeeded, saving SpaceX from bankruptcy and establishing it as a leader in the aerospace industry. Failure helps you determine whether your passion is strong enough to keep you moving forward. If you give up easily, perhaps what you're pursuing isn't truly what you love. Passion is not just emotion, it's relentless action. True passion doesn't end at dreams or excitement. It is measured by what you're willing to do after you've fallen down. A perfect example is Oprah Winfrey, who was fired from her first TV job because she was deemed unfit for television. But Oprah didn't stop. With passion and unwavering belief in her abilities, she continued her path in media and became a global powerhouse in the entertainment industry. Oprah once said, "Failure is simply the opportunity to try again." or try differently. But I never stop. Passion isn't what you talk about, it's what you do. Repeatedly and tirelessly, even after countless failures. Failure sparks creativity and innovation. Failure may feel like everything is falling apart, but if you are passionate, you won't sit still amidst the ruins. Instead, you'll find creative ways to overcome obstacles. Take Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. Before transforming Starbucks into a global coffee empire, he was rejected more than 200 times while seeking investors to expand the business. Yet he kept experimenting with new ways to pitch his idea until he found people who believed in his vision. True passion turns failure into a catalyst for creativity and strength. Failure teaches patience and builds resilience. Success doesn't happen overnight. Failure is the ultimate test of your endurance and resilience. Passionate individuals treat failure as an inevitable part of the journey rather than an endpoint. Look at Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Before building the largest e-commerce empire, he was rejected 30 times while applying for jobs, including a rejection from KFC. Alibaba itself wasn't an instant success, but Jack Ma kept pushing forward because he deeply believed in his vision of creating the world's largest e-commerce platform. Passion helps you endure repeated failures with patience. Without resilience, passion is just an illusion. Failure makes your story inspiring. The world's most successful people aren't just famous for their achievements, but also for the stories of how they overcame failures to reach the top. This is why passion always goes hand in hand with failure, because failure makes your journey memorable and inspiring. Another brilliant example is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her manuscript was published, it was rejected by 12 publishers. But Rowling didn't give up. Her passion for writing and her unwavering belief in her story kept her going, eventually turning her into one of the most successful authors in history. If your passion is big enough, failure won't discourage you. Instead, it will make your story more compelling and unforgettable. True passion is defined by how you overcome failure. As Warren Buffett once said, "You don't truly know how strong you are until you face failure." Failure is an inseparable part of success, but how you handle failure determines whether you achieve your dreams. Ask yourself, are you willing to try again after failing? Can you overcome the fear to make another attempt? Is your passion big enough to burn through all obstacles? If the answer is yes, then keep going. Success is waiting for you ahead. And if you fail, remember, it's just a part of the journey. Don't give up, because your passion will guide the way. 6. Failure helps you grow and become stronger. Hello, everyone. I want to start this article with a personal story. When I first embarked on my entrepreneurial journey, I failed, not just once, but many times. However, those failures shaped me into a stronger, more mature person, and most importantly, someone who learned to rise after every fall. Today, I want to share with you the profound lessons I and many other successful people around the world have learned from failure. Failure is the harshest teacher, but its lessons are irreplaceable. Have you ever heard Jeff Bezos' story? When he founded Amazon, he faced not only financial risks, but also criticism from all sides. Many called him a fool for leaving a stable job on Wall Street to sell books online, an idea that sounded ridiculous at the time. However, Bezos didn't let early failures discourage him. He once admitted, "I've made billions of dollars in mistakes, but that's the cost of innovation." Every failure is a unique lesson. If you are willing to learn from it, you will grow quickly and better understand the path you are on. Failure develops resilience. Take Howard Schultz, CEO of Starbucks. For example, before building a global coffee empire, Schultz was rejected by 217 investors when seeking funding for his first store. For most people, hearing hundreds of rejections might lead them to give up, but not Schultz. He believed in his vision and eventually turned Starbucks into a global icon. Resilience isn't an innate quality. It is forged through failure. Each time you fail but keep moving forward, you're building a stronger mental armor. Failure helps you redefine your true worth. One of the most inspiring stories is that of Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a television host because she was deemed unfit for TV. That may have been one of the most painful moments of her career. But instead of letting failure define her, Oprah reassessed her own worth. She realized she had a unique talent for connecting with people and telling authentic stories. From there, she built a career that no one could replicate. Failure helps you take a step back and reflect on yourself. It gives you the time to discover what truly matters and who you want to become. Failure opens new doors. Many think of failure as the end, but in reality, it's often the beginning of something greater. Elon Musk is a living testament to this. When SpaceX failed in its first 3 rocket launches, the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. But Musk didn't give up. The 4th launch was a resounding success, securing contracts with NASA and positioning SpaceX as a leader in aerospace innovation. Sometimes, failure isn't a closed door. It's an open one to a new world. You just need the courage to step through it. Failure teaches humility and gratitude. When you experience failure, you begin to understand that no one in this world is perfect. Failure makes you more humble, appreciative of what you've achieved, and grateful for the opportunities to face challenges. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, once shared that one of his biggest failures was the Virgin Cola project. He tried to compete with Coca-Cola and Pepsi, but the venture failed miserably. Instead of letting that defeat discourage him, he learned to focus on areas where he excelled, like aviation and music. Failure teaches you that nothing comes easily. To succeed, you must know when to let go of something unproductive and shift to a new direction. Failure makes you appreciate success. When you achieve success without facing failure, you might not fully appreciate it. However, if you've overcome countless challenges and failures, every step forward becomes far more meaningful. Think of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Before building his e-commerce empire, he was rejected by nearly every company he applied to, including KFC. Yet, those rejections made him cherish every success he achieved later. Success is more valuable when you've experienced failure. It's not just a destination. It's a journey worth remembering. Failure is not the end, but the beginning. If you're reading this, you've likely faced failure, or perhaps you're afraid of failing in the future. Remember this: failure is not something to fear. The greatest fear is never daring to try and dream big. You may fall once, 10 times, or even 100 times, but the most important thing is whether you have the courage to get back up. Each time you rise, you become stronger, more mature, and closer to success. 7. Failure opens the door to new opportunities. Imagine this: you're staring at the remnants of a project you poured your heart and soul into, and it's in ruins. The business didn't work out, the promotion didn't happen, or the investment failed. It feels like the end of the road. But what if I told you it's not the end? What if this failure is the very thing that's about to catapult you to unimaginable success? That's the mindset of the most successful people in the world. Billionaires, self-made millionaires, and industry leaders don't see failure as defeat. They see it as a redirection, a lesson, and an opportunity. Let's dive deep into why failure is one of life's greatest gifts and how it opens doors to opportunities you never thought possible. Failure forces you to reflect and refocus. When life knocks you down, it gives you a chance to stop and think. Success often blinds us, making us complacent. But failure? Failure wakes us up. Take Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. Early in his career, Schultz pitched his vision of an upscale coffee shop to over 200 investors, and almost every single one of them said, no. Imagine being told 200 times that your dream is worthless. For most, that would have been a sign to quit. But Schultz didn't give up. Instead, he reflected on his pitch, learned from his mistakes, and adjusted his strategy. Today, Starbucks has over 35,000 stores globally. Failure clears the clutter and refines your focus. It forces you to ask, what really matters? What should I do differently? Failure helps you discover your true strengths. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was famously fired from the very company he helped build. At the time, he described it as the most devastating moment of his life. But after some self-reflection, he realized being fired gave him the freedom to innovate again. He went on to create Pixar, revolutionizing the animation industry, and later returned to Apple to transform it into the tech giant it is today. Jobs once said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Failure strips away the non-essential and reveals your resilience, creativity, and determination. It shows you what you're truly made of. Failure opens doors you didn't know existed. Sometimes, when one door closes, it redirects you to a much bigger door you didn't even know was there. Take the example of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Early in her career, she wanted to be a lawyer but failed her LSAT multiple times. Forced to pivot, she worked odd jobs until one day she stumbled upon the idea of creating slimming undergarments for women. That failure led her to become the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. What feels like failure today might just be life redirecting you to a path better suited to your talents and purpose. Failure teaches you lessons you can't learn elsewhere. Classrooms teach theory. Failure teaches wisdom. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, once launched a venture called Z-Shops, an online auction platform meant to rival eBay. It was a complete flop. Instead of giving up, Bezos analyzed why it failed and used those insights to refine Amazon's marketplace strategy. That failure laid the groundwork for Amazon to dominate e-commerce. Bezos later said, "Failure and invention are inseparable twins. To invent, you have to experiment. And if you know in advance that it's going to work, it's not an experiment." Every failure is a masterclass. The lessons you learn through failure are often more valuable than any degree or certification. Failure builds emotional resilience. The path to success isn't linear. It's filled with peaks and valleys. Learning to navigate those valleys, those moments of failure, builds emotional resilience. And resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Elon Musk knows this well. In 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were on the brink of bankruptcy. Musk had to decide how to allocate his dwindling funds, save one company or risk both. He chose to bet everything, knowing failure was a real possibility. Fast forward to today. Tesla is a leader in electric vehicles, and SpaceX is pioneering interplanetary travel. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back stronger. Failure forces innovation and creativity. There's a reason why some of the most groundbreaking ideas emerge after failure. Desperation sparks creativity. When everything goes wrong, you're forced to think differently. For example, Walt Disney was fired from his first job at a newspaper for lacking imagination. Imagine that. Fired for not being creative enough. Instead of being defeated, he started his own company, only to face bankruptcy multiple times before finally creating Mickey Mouse and the empire we now know as Disney. Disney later reflected, "I think it's important to have a good, hard failure when you're young, because it makes you aware of what can happen to you. Once you've lived through the worst, you're never quite as vulnerable afterward." When failure pushes you out of your comfort zone, it forces you to think outside the box. Failure builds empathy and humility. When you've experienced failure, you gain a deeper understanding of the struggles others face. Empathy makes you a better leader, a better friend, and a better human being. Humility keeps you grounded, even when success eventually comes your way. Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, has faced numerous business failures, from Virgin Cola to Virgin Cars. But each failure has made him more empathetic towards his team and more determined to keep innovating. He often says, "Don't be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again." Failure humanizes you. It connects you to others and teaches you to lead with compassion, turning failure into opportunity. Here's the truth. Everyone fails, but not everyone learns from it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: mindset. When you view failure as a stepping stone, rather than a roadblock, you unlock its power to transform your life. It's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. The next time you face failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow? What new doors might this open for me? Remember, failure isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Every billionaire, every successful entrepreneur, and every visionary leader has stood where you're standing. They faced the same doubts and fears, but they didn't let failure define them. Neither should you. So, embrace your failures, learn from them, and let them guide you to opportunities you never dreamed possible. And when you succeed, because you will, remember to share your story. Because every great success story begins with a failure. If this article inspired you, don't forget to share it and let others know the power of failure. Together, we can transform challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. Embrace failure. Unlock your future. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Failure is not your enemy. It's a mentor disguised in tough love, here to mold you into the person capable of achieving your wildest dreams. Every setback you've faced, every door that slammed shut, every heartbreak that brought you to your knees, it's all been preparing you for the moment you rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Think of the world's greatest successes. They didn't escape failure, they embraced it. Elon Musk didn't stop when rockets exploded. He recalibrated. Oprah didn't quit when she was told she wasn't good enough for TV. She became a media powerhouse. Their stories remind us, the only true failure is giving up. Here's the lesson. Every failure is a step forward, as long as you keep moving. So, if you're standing at a crossroads right now, wondering if it's worth continuing, let me tell you, it is. The path ahead is not easy, but it's worth it. If you found these lessons valuable, don't let this be the last time we connect. Hit that subscribe button and join me on a journey where we'll explore more powerful strategies, inspiring stories, and actionable insights to help you conquer life's challenges and achieve greatness. Remember, success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about using it to build the future you deserve. Your best days are ahead. Let's walk this journey together.